Oh, oh, Mom, I broke the gun. I didn't break the gun, and I don't live with my mom, but I do have a gun that comes apart, and it's probably one of the funnest things that you can legally buy in Canada right now. And that's the Ruger PC Carbine. So in 9mm. So I'm just gonna throw this out. There are some newer generation models which are really cool that I check out, but this is the one that's still most popular and you're gonna find pretty much at all your major stores. Let's talk about it. Obviously, one of the coolest things about this particular firearm is that it's a 9mm, which means it can shoot pistol mags. It comes with an SR9 pistol magazine, which is 10 rounds. But one of the awesome parts about this, it actually comes with the kit when you buy it. There's a drop-down mag well inside of this guy that adapts for Glock magazines. So if you have Glock 17, Glock 19, etc., you can pop in Glock mags, which makes it really cool to go to the range where you already have your Glock with you and makes it adjustable. Or if you already have a couple Glock mags at home, since most of them come with 3 these days, you already have a bunch of mags to use, and it does accept obviously the 10 rounds. The other cool part about it is it comes apart, so it's very easy to take in a backpack, put it in a truck gun when legal, where legal, but it allows you to break it down, and obviously it holds 0 the entire time. It kind of looks like a 1022. If you're, that's probably one of Ruger's and possibly one of the most popular 22 rifles of all time, and the reason why it looks like it is because there's a lot of similarities with it as well. So you're looking at the majority of the trigger assembly is going to be a 1022-esque style. The overall style of it's very similar, but let's look at some of the differences. So it looks like there's a cheek raise. It's kind of got this cutout. Yeah, that's a faux raise. So that doesn't exist, it just looks cool. A generous butt pad. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a 9mm. You're not going to be knocking on over. Picatinny rails on top. I have mounted a Vortex Spark 2 on this guy. I'm gonna do a review on this down the line. Not a bad piece of machinery for the price point. A little bit of glitches here and there, but I'm gonna go over that down the line. That being said, it does come with ghost ring sights with these blades on the back end here. Overall, pretty good shooting experience. A little bit of a Picatinny rail in the front. It does have obviously your sling mounts front and back, so you can mount, you know, if you wanted to put a little light or laser or missile launcher. I don't know what you want to put on there, but there is some options. That being said, just to note, it is a small rail, so I've heard that the bigger lights don't really fit on it too well, but that's something that you're gonna have to experiment with. For all my good old-fashioned Americans out there, it does come with a threaded barrel, so barrel protector that you can put suppressor. As I mentioned before, you put that in on your gun in Canada, you go to jail for a long, long time. So kind of useless here, but if you wanted to put a muzzle brake, you definitely could. Let's talk about some of the cool features about it, some of the additional cool features. The barrel itself, this is a pretty accurate gun. So a 9mm, I wouldn't be shooting out at 100, 200 yards. I'm not saying it doesn't reach out that far, but really most people I would assume are probably in the same bandwagon as me and is 50 yards and closer. The steel I'm actually shooting at this particular time was 30 yards, and you can see that you're banging them off one by one. It is a chrome moly barrel, cold forged, one day I'll get this right, hammer forged cold steel. Yes, you know what I'm talking about. And it is fluted, which is kind of cool. So it allows you to cool off. Not really needed when you're shooting in -23 or -9 Fahrenheit like I am in this video. Whew. So it's standing up, no misfires so far. It's a nice gun. The one thing I'm noticing big time about this is you hear it all the time about blowback systems having a pretty good kick. For a 9mm, I mean, it kicks more than my ARs or the 223 rounds. It does have a bit of a click, but I mean, every time I pull the trigger, it's been going off. It's a lot of fun pulling it out there, hitting the metal out there, which is nice. The other thing I noticed too, I haven't actually even sighted in the spark. I put it right on there, and bam, I was on target. I'm maybe at 30 yards there. I don't know, 2-3 inches to the right kind of thing, but in generally 9 out of 10 on that last one, so kind of cool. it's nice to have neither the less because you're going to be popping a lot of rounds in it. And to all my American friends that can put the 30-round magazine in there, good on you. Have fun. Some of the downsides of this particular gun, and I say downsides, I don't really mean it's anything detrimental. It's more or less going to be something that you find an issue with any of these type of firearms. So this particular gun, it has a reciprocating hammer. So what that means is every time that you're firing, this is going to be coming back and forth. And because of that, believe it or not, this probably recoils as much or if not more than my AR does. And the reason for that is the blowback style, which is the typical style, the blowback style moves the entire bolt back, which gives you a little bit more recoil. So not saying that this is going to knock you on your feet. This is not a heavy recoiling rifle. But for a 9mm, I was expecting a lot less. I know, the blowback's very reliable, so this is another really cool thing. It's incredibly reliable. That's like what the Uzi has and all these other firearms. But if you're looking for a carbine that is very flat shooting, low recoil, just pull the trigger and it's gonna start firing and you're gonna be able to keep it on target very quickly, probably not the ideal rifle for that. The best would be an MP5 version. Obviously that's not legal in Canada, but in the States, that's got your rotating bolt. So it's a complete different mitigating, very flat shooting, very easy shooting. So if you're looking for a 9mm because you feel that it's gonna be less recoil and quicker response, this is probably not the gun. Like I said, my Tavora X95, I would say, has less recoil than this one does. That being said, if you have a new shooter, what is this good for? Well, if you have a brand new shooter, a kid that's trying to move up from a 22, for example, this is probably a great starter rifle in between. This is a rifle that you can, do some little bit of hunting with, tons of plinking, and that's really what this is. It's a good little self-defense at home rifle. It's a great plinking rifle. You can go out there and shoot those metal steel targets all day long, have a lot of fun. 9mm is fairly inexpensive to shoot, which is awesome. I shot everything through this. I haven't really had one failure, so everything from cheap Finoki, UMC, Remington, bullets by the bag, you name it, I've shot through it, not one hiccup. The only hiccup I've had in the last outgoing was the mag froze to the inside. But I mean, I'm pretty sure the snow and conditions would make that happen to anything. So that being said, really cool that you can switch the actual magazine between Glock and Ruger. Very cool that you can take it apart, which I'm gonna kind of show you how to do that real quick here. And all in all, this is a really fun gun. Practicality wise, what are you gonna use it for? Well, it could be a backup gun, could be a truck gun, like I said, defense gun, but really it's just a gun to go out, enjoy plinking with, have a lot of fun with. It's a family gun, the kids can shoot it as long as they can hold it. Overall, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed with this firearm. So let's kind of go over the breakdown, because that's the one thing I don't see people go over very often on these reviews. So it's very simple. There's a little blade here. First off, we're just gonna bring the bolt back, depress that blade. Once you depress that blade, it locks your bolt back. On the bottom there, just like this little nut, you're gonna pull that off and twist, so you can pull up and twist, pops right off. And putting it back together in a quick situation, easy as that. As far as the trigger you're running about a 3.1 pound is what they say on the factory. I would say it's very similar. It runs that 1022 style, which is kind of have that bolt pass in the back. I find it, the actual trigger pull on it, let's ghost this thing. Yeah, it's not bad. What I would say is it's kind of hard to determine where it doesn't have a really good feel for when it sets back up there. Let's try that one more time. You can see it's kind of like creepy, sticky a little bit. And there's the reset. So the reset is short, but it's just not activated. It's not, you don't feel it. So it's not a lot like the ARs and so on and so forth. But then again, you're looking at a $600 gun, right? So you get what you pay for. So the one thing I would say with this, if I were to change anything up, and I'm sure there is some trigger assembly, it'd probably be that, just so you could have some more rapid fire. When I was out there plinking away, the recoil, just keeping it on target was a little bit tougher. And the fact that I just couldn't figure out my finger positioning to really knock them off quickly. That being said, I've only put, it's fairly new. It's even got some oil in it. I think we shot about 300 rounds, 400 rounds, something like that through it. So not thousands of rounds like most of the other firearms I own, but I definitely will. I love this purchase. If you're looking, especially in Canada, to have some fun in a 9mm that you don't have to go to a range with and just plunk some of that information or plunk some of that ammo that you have laying around for your Glocks or whatever else, this is an amazing gun to check out. So what's next? Well, it's the same thing that every YouTuber says. Thank you so much to our amazing subscribers. We hit over 100. Hopefully by the time this goes, we're at 200 or 300, who knows. Some of our videos have thousands of views, tons of really informative comments. There's so many more people that know more about these firearms making comments down there. Thank you so much for doing that. I'm trying to learn as we go here. This is obviously a passion of mine, something I love doing. Please, if you have firearms you want me to review, throw them on down there, let me know. I want to get this channel rocking. If there's anything you think I can do better, let me know. If you love these guns more than I do, let me know. So subscribe, comment, hit that notification button, and I look forward to seeing you at the next time.